I'm happy to cover this one too. This one got sent to me, and it says, "Is this how we treat our champions?" Okay, and y'all know me, I love some UFC, some One Championship, some mixed martial arts. Okay? So he tries to put his arm around her, and she kind of like flinches and recoils. Now, it's the next year he wins, and she's kind of like, "Wait, no, come back." And he's like, "No." And you can kind of see on his face, he's like, "Oh, no, you're too good for me. You're too good for me, remember? Happy now?" And it kind of like ends on that note. Preliminary thoughts. Look, I know how I feel about this. I think that people initially sent this to me thinking that I was going to be like, "Yeah, her." But I did not have that reaction. I did not, because it's like, I respect fighters, I respect champions. I really do, but that doesn't give you the right to just put your arms around people. Like, she's there to be a ring girl, to hold up signs. She's not there to be your personal celebratory body. And like, here's another thing that a lot of the guys that are like loving this video and being like, "Yeah, F her," aren't thinking about is like, what if she has a boyfriend?
So, yeah.
Like, well, I'm sure that guy doesn't necessarily want some random guy just putting his hands all over his paws whenever he wants to.
And you and I talked about this, and we've done a lot of performance. If you're going to grab someone, especially as a man, to a woman, playing it safe from here on out, this will make a world of difference. Grabbing a woman, anybody, but especially a woman by the waist, and pulling them in tight is, whether he meant to or not, it's just, that would be anybody's reaction.
She didn't even seem particularly offended.
Yeah, just kind of like, "No, that's okay."
Startled. And like, that's a gut reaction for a lot of us. Even if she actually ended up being comfortable with it and was like, "Oh, I guess actually that probably wasn't so bad. Like, I could have let him do that." Like, to me, that's kind of a mark of a good woman.
Right.
To not instinctively just let people grab her like that, honestly.
We talked that the safest way, like, he could have literally, is putting your arm on a shoulder. You can come up behind somebody and be like, "Excuse me." And it's so much less...
Wait, he got accused of something? That's gonna change the situation. Okay, yeah, it's not the most trustworthy resource. It's just posted by Anonymous.
Let's see.
The fighter was accused of sexually assaulting a ring girl after the first win. Okay, but what do we mean by accused? Did she formally accuse him, or did random internet strangers in the comment section...
We can find a better covering of this.
Say he sexually assaulted her and that was enough for him to go, "No," which... To be fair, I get it. If I was a guy and I was getting public backlash, why did South Korean MMA fighter Park Dae Sung famously refuse to click pictures with ring girls after fights? One of South Korea's most renowned mixed martial artists, Park Dae Sung, refused to pose with the ring girl following his win at Road FC 36 because of sexual harassment allegations from a year back. He has a near-perfect record, but in December 2016, posing for the media following his victory, was seen putting his hands on the waist of the ring girl and then forcefully pulling her in. He did the same thing twice. The ring girl looked visibly uncomfortable both times. He was called out for his controversial actions, and now he refuses to even stand beside a ring girl after his victory.
So it sounds like he's doing the thing that a lot of people do, where they...
This is why a lot of guys do the hover hand.
There's the hover hand. But again, I'm telling you, if he had done this, put his hand on her shoulder like this is so neutral. This is such a neutral place to touch anybody and be like, "Yes!" But like, for him, it's one of those, and if he had done that, I don't think it would have been that much of a reaction, but it was the hip, it was the pull-in, exactly, overcorrecting, that's what he did. It seemed like a super extreme countermeasure, and it's like, if you feel like you need to inconvenience yourself that much, dude, go for it. But it's like, this seems like a bit of an overcorrection. And
I have
a
very middle ground, like, final opinion on this. So basically, I don't blame him at all for now refusing to, like, take pictures with these people. I don't blame him at all, but I also am not gonna, like, necessarily consider it a tragedy. Like, I don't necessarily... Like, I don't think that he should have been accused of sexual assault, but I also don't think that anybody made those claims seriously against him. I think that The allegations, or I guess the pushback that he was getting, was more likely just coming from like the peanut gallery, not any like legitimate legal threat. But at the same time, I'm not going to use the peanut gallery to undermine how terrifying that would be as a man and as a fighter to be like, oh my God, I've literally sacrificed my life for this. Especially because fighters, like, oh my God, you have to sacrifice so much to compete at an actual money-making level. The grand majority of MMA fighters remain poor and just cauliflowered eared up for the rest of their days. They usually don't make it anywhere. So to actually be at that level and possibly have all of it risked because you put your arm around someone's waist. And as a woman, like, I'm thinking about it because I just did a bunch of photos with the girls at the gym recently. And I realize now, every time I take a photo with a woman, I put my arm around their waist. Honestly. And a lot of that is because I'm 5 feet tall, so it's usually all I can reach.
But here's the thing is there's putting a hand on the waist, and then there's like come here, let's get a picture, eh? And it's like, again, I get he's excited, but also you're a big muscly man and she's a ring girl, and you know, it's like, I love my puppy, but I cannot yank him like I can my 10-year-old dog, because he'll, you know, he's gonna wreck. It's just one of those things. It's like explaining to our teenager that they are much bigger and stronger than our 6-year-old when she starts playing rough with him, and he is like, cool, we're playing rough, and then she's like, man, and he's confused, and it's like, buddy, I know you don't get it. You're twice as big as this person.
Now here's the thing, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is for real, me as a parent. I will say there are a lot of times when my 6-year-old daughter goes picking a fight with her 15-year-old brother, and I'm like, find out what happens.
And this is, to be fair, she was not picking a fight. To be fair, the fight had been picked and won.
There are some times where I'm like, I'm a firm believer in natural consequences, right? Like, you don't want to eat, you're going to get hungry. I don't have to punish you additionally if you don't want to eat because you're going to get hungry. You want to pick a fight with your 15-year-old brother who trains jujitsu with me? Do it, honey. You're going to figure out why it's a bad idea without me even having to walk in and say anything.